Before we begin our last story for the day, a quick quiz. What is 2/3 of 70? A football team has won 3 of their last 10 penalty shootouts. What is their success rate? And lastly, how many minutes are there in 1/12 of a day? Even if you do not know the answers, surely you know what the story is about. Mathematics. Some of us truly love it. But for others, it can be a weapon of mass self-esteem issues. Even the simplest of maths problems induce panic, embarrassment, resentment, or self-loathing. Because maths anxiety is real, on average about 20% of the world suffers from it. In the UK, it's officially the worst in the world, 40%. And it's becoming a problem for them. Now, Prime Minister Rishi Sunak wants to subtract the anxiety from maths. He loves his numbers and he wants to take on that anti-maths mindset.
We make jokes about not being able to do maths. It's socially acceptable. We say things like, oh, maths, I can't do that, it's not for me, and everyone laughs. But we'd never make a joke like that about not being able to read. So we've got to change this anti-maths mindset.
Sunak has vowed to boost numeracy among Britons. Numeracy is the ability to work with numbers. At present, maths is compulsory up to the age of 16 in the UK. After that, students in the country in schools can drop out of maths. They can drop maths as a subject. But Prime Minister Sunak wants to change that. He wants to make maths education compulsory till the age of 18.
We're one of the few developed countries where young people don't routinely study some form of maths up to the age of 18. They do it in Australia, Canada, France, Germany, Finland, Japan, Norway, and America. Why should we accept any less for our children?
So how big is the UK's maths problem? Around 8 million adults in the country have skills of primary school children, meaning 8 million adults in the UK can handle numbers only as well as primary school children. And this is hurting their economy. According to estimates, lack of basic math skills is costing the British economy how much? About $25 billion a year. Right now, they can't afford this kind of loss. The UK economy is struggling, prices are skyrocketing, people are struggling to pay bills and to buy food to make ends meet. Workers are going on strikes. So Prime Minister Sunak wants to change things around and he thinks maths can help.
Think about the cost of living, how important it is right now to understand what discounts are available. How do you make sure that your credit cards are being managed properly? What's the right mortgage deal to go for? All these things, so important for day-to-day life. And right now, there's probably too many people who don't have the numeracy they need to make those decisions that will support them and their families.
Some critics say this is hardly the strategy they need. Others say this is not even a coherent strategy. Irrespective, Sunak is moving forward. This is the second time he's spoken about maths this year. Previously, he called it a passion project. He says this matter is quote-unquote personal for him. Now, you know that the British Prime Minister is of Indian origin, and it's being said that his heritage may have something to do with it. Because there's a lot of emphasis on the study of mathematics in India. Indian students are perceived to be better at it than those in Western nations. And India has a legacy of extraordinary mathematicians. It is home to the likes of Aryabhat, Srinivas Ramanujan, and Shakuntala Devi. As Albert Einstein once famously said, we owe a lot to the Indians who taught us how to count. Because India gave the number 0 to the world, so the India variable may be part of the equation. Regardless, Rishi Sunak has pointed towards a bigger problem. Why are we so scared of maths? It takes root early and occurs due to different reasons, like being scolded by frustrated parents and teachers repeatedly, or not being able to grasp a foundational topic, which then makes it harder to catch up. We've all been there. It can be a soul-crushing experience. Sometimes it's also a policy issue. It can be difficult for some to follow the curriculum. Other times, the very relevance of maths is in question. How many times have you actually used the Pythagoras theorem in your life? Or calculated speed using a time and distance formula? We think we rarely use maths, but we may be wrong. Maths is usually at the front and center of most of the things we do. We can use it to fact check. Are politicians lying about unemployment? How many COVID vaccines have really been administered? We can use it to save money. Are discounts really benefiting us? Can taking a different travel route help us save time and money? We do such calculations all the time. So the problem is not that maths cannot help us. It is that we often don't know how to let it. Shakuntala Devi said, children dread mathematics because they see it as a subject, but mathematics is a language. And those who romanticize it say, the scary pure maths, with alphabets and symbols, is like poetry. How you use it depends on you. It can hold you back. It can also set you free. And as George Cantor once said, the essence of mathematics lies in its freedom. I think it also has a lot to do with your teacher. A good teacher can make maths fun. And before I wrap this story, here's an admission. I can give you quotes and analysis because I'm past the stage where I had to take maths tests. And I'd be lying if I said I'm not in a happier place. Dealing with maths can be tough. Here's hoping you are having a better time learning it, and leaders who offer policy solutions also push for ways to teach maths in more imaginative ways.